Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2020 career mode with Haas F1 team for the British Grand Prix for this episode. If you missed the last episode for the Austrian Grand Prix, be sure you watch that one before this one. So we have 3 upgrades coming in, but I'm not too sure if all of them will be done before the next race, and I only think the one on the aerodynamic side will be done for the next race. So yeah, just gonna jump forward in the calendar. We've got an invitational event, but we're gonna skip that. Just go further in the calendar until we arrive for the 16th of July, the weekend of the British Grand Prix 2020. And as you can see, we've fallen behind AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo in the R&D performance list, which is not good, but probably all is close together. And now let's jump into the weekend. So here we are then, in the weekend of the F1 2020 British Grand Prix, and as you can see, we have actually fallen behind AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo in the performance chart. But as you can also see, again, it's very close. So still very optimistic for this race weekend. Need to get a few new parts because we're getting a bit worn out. So plenty of new parts, and now let's jump into qualifying. So here we are then for the start of our first flying lap of this 2020 British Grand Prix qualifying, as Kimi Raikkonen just ends his first flying lap in front of us. We go up to 8th gear, flat out into turn 1 into our flat out, this little left kink here, turn 2, brake for turn 3 as we lock up a bit on the front right, but I don't think that costs us too much time. Brake, try to get on the power early but without the rear stepping away too much. That's really tricky at this corner. DRS open as we come to the end of the first sector, but we're going to skip to the end of our first flying lap. As we come across the line, it's P10, slowest of all drivers that went out onto now. But that was only our first flying lap. We have 2 more flying laps to go, and yeah, so still optimistic. So we jump to the start of our second flying lap. We are down in P19 at the moment, so second last. Not great. The car was not feeling too great in free practice, so yeah, I think this weekend might get a bit trickier than the last 2 weekends, but obviously the last 2 weekends were really good and great weekend last time out in Austria. As we open DRS, as we are not improving our first sector, now onto the back straight, still red, but only by a small amount. As we go into the next corner, we get on the grass, we go wide a bit, I lose the rear, and I have to try to correct it, and we spin! We spin on our second flying lap. Oh no, that just messed everything up. Here, just another replay as I tried to catch the car and just lost the rear even more. Eventually spun. Yeah, not great, not ideal. We were not improving our lap time anyway, but yeah, still not great. So now we come through for the start of our final flying lap. As you can see, we've went out a bit earlier, but also as you can see, it's getting really dark here in Silverstone. The clouds are coming and there's rain expected for the end of qualifying, so I thought I'd better go out a bit earlier because I still have some places to make up, as somehow Roman Grosjean has fallen behind us. I have no idea how that is, but we're green as you can see on the top right. We're currently improving our lap time. As we jump to the back straight, we're still green, almost 3/10 up on our personal best as we turn in for the final few corners. Get on the power, don't get too wide, otherwise you get a warning for track limits, even though that's not important for qualifying because your lap won't be deleted. As we come through the final few corners, get a bit wide out, and now across the line, what's it going to be? It is P16 for us at the moment. We'll see how the others do and jump to the end of qualifying. So that was it. Qualifying for the 2020 British Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton secures pole position in front of Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel in P3. Sergio Perez splitting the Ferraris, and Alex Albon out-qualifies Alex Albon. We're in P17 and 18, now onto the race.
Only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship, and the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. So let's chat about Daniel Kvyat. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Stroll, Norris, Verstappen, Gasly, and Carlos Sainz. Ricciardo, Ocon, Sergio Perez. They've taken a grid penalty. And Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, the captain, and George Russell. Latifi and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So here we are then, on the grid for the 2020 British Grand Prix. As I said, I think it will get a bit tricky because the car has not been that great at this weekend than the weekends before. But we'll try to make the best out of it. So now we build up the revs and wait for 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. We got an awesome start. Once again we pass Romain Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi already in the straight, and maybe also Kimi Raikkonen. Go down the inside. Yes, we've overtook Kimi Raikkonen too. But no, he comes back at us, but we're gonna dive down the inside on Kimi Raikkonen and also maybe Ricciardo. Not really, yes. Try to go around the outside there, get on the power early, and we've got ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Great stuff, P12 from us. Once again, great start from us. That really makes up for the bad qualifying we have this year. P12 for us at the moment. We'll see what we can do from there, as we're currently behind Ocon, and he's behind Carlos Sainz as Daniel Ricciardo comes really close to us. I actually felt a small tap on the rear right tire from Daniel Ricciardo there, so really close from spinning there. And now into Magnussen Beckett's behind Ocon. Hope to get a good run through here, so we might get a good run on him on the back straight. That was not too bad, but the Renault is just, we have to accept that the Renault is just a better car and just goes through the corners a bit better. But we are the second best team on the straights. Our engine is the second best. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily mean we're the second best team on the straight, but our engine is the second best of the whole grid. Alfa Romeo has the best engine, so yeah, that's good for us. So if we're close to car in front to make a move or defend, we'll have the power advantage down the straight, which will help us massively. I think because through the corners we can't really hold up to the others as we get out a bit wide. Again, a warning for exceeding track limits as we get really close to Esteban Ocon's rear of the car as we lock up into the next corner. Phew, that was close. Just carried a bit too much speed into turn 1 there. So now we jump all the way to lap 4, but Daniel Ricciardo has DRS on us. We don't have DRS on Esteban Ocon. He slipstreams us. He's gonna maybe try to go around the outside. We're gonna break a bit later, try to get her nose to the inside. We're still fighting. Daniel Ricciardo edges ahead, but we're gonna go through the braking zone. He covers the inside. We're gonna try to go around the outside on Daniel Ricciardo into the second last corner. Can we make the move stick? He's still beside us as we edge ahead into the final corner. What a great battle that was with Daniel Ricciardo, but we keep the place on Daniel Ricciardo, keep in P12. Great stuff from us on lap 4 there. So now we jump all the way to lap 6. So big jump again, but Daniel Ricciardo, oh no, it's actually Kimi Raikkonen who overtook Daniel Ricciardo after I defended on Daniel Ricciardo. So Kimi Raikkonen is now the car behind us. We're going to try to cover the inside a bit. No, he's a bit too far away, but so Kimi Raikkonen can't make a move on us into the chicane as we get a bit wide out as Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas already come into the pits. Our pit window is now open, but Kimi Raikkonen is maybe going to try and move around the outside into turn 1. No, he thinks better of it and gets out of that move. Probably thinks, yeah, there's going to be this next straight, so he's obviously going to have DRS on us. But our acceleration out from here has actually not been that bad. So yeah, I think we're just enough ahead not to get overtaken by Kimi Raikkonen. So now to the end of lap 7, or after Maggots and Beckett, as we get onto the grass, Kimi Raikkonen is going to have DRS on us. We're trying to break a toe a bit, but as I said before, Alfa Romeo has the best engine on the grid. We cover the inside, go a bit wide out to the outside, and Daniel Ricciardo edged ahead of Kimi Raikkonen there. What a move by Daniel Ricciardo as we come into the pits for our one and only pit stop of this race. I didn't even see that, to be honest. We just defended on Kimi Raikkonen, we defended the inside, went out a bit wide, and there you go, boom. Daniel Ricciardo edged back ahead of Kimi Raikkonen up into P13. So we come now to our pit box to change from the soft to the medium tires. Good pit stop time, 2.9 seconds, as we just get out ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. No, this pit lane in Silverstone is just massive. It's just really, really long, takes a lot of time. So yeah, Daniel Ricciardo is the car behind us, and Sergio Perez has jumped Kimi Raikkonen in the pit lane. As you can see, Sergio Perez is the car behind Daniel Ricciardo, and when we came into the pits, the car behind Daniel Ricciardo was Kimi Raikkonen. So Kimi Raikkonen lost out massively in this pit stop. We're going to try to have a great outlap so the others can undercut us. So we jump to the end of lap 8 onto lap 9, as you can see on the bottom left. Antonio Giovinazzi and our teammate Romain Grosjean have been in the pits. They were not able to undercut us, so we stay in P14 at the moment, but if all goes well, if everything goes well, this P12 for us at this British Grand Prix. It's going to be hard to get into the points, but you never know, something might happen, but we are going to have to defend from Daniel Ricciardo. As we now jump to lap 10, and Daniel Ricciardo has definitely caught up to us. Everyone made their pit stop. We're in P12 now. No, he sure doesn't think about the move into Maggots. He just thinks better of it and not really tries to make a move. I don't think it was close enough, and we're going to try to get good acceleration, not get too wide, not get onto the dirt. Try to break the toe a bit. There's yellow flags behind us, but Daniel Ricciardo is getting on us. But he's not that far ahead as he was, as we touch wheels a bit, bang the wheels a bit with Daniel Ricciardo. But that was still fair defense from us. Nothing too risky, nothing too dangerous or unfair there. That was still fair defending from us. Great stuff. As you can see on the top now, Romain Grosjean is out of this British Grand Prix. Probably the yellow flags were for him, but there's no sign or no information of a virtual safety car, so probably there's going to be nothing there. So racing still continues as we get on the power and try to keep ahead of Daniel Ricciardo this next straight, as the left front is currently really, really hot, boiling hot, the left front, as I can really feel the car turning into the right hand corners. The front end doesn't stick, or I can't really accelerate that much because the car is gonna understeer out wide. I think like the left front tire has like 108 degrees or something, so it's really, really hot, the left front tire. As we are on lap 11, 2.5 laps to go, I'd say, in this British Grand Prix, where we're on P12. But we have to try to stay ahead of Daniel Ricciardo on this next straight. He's going to have DRS. We don't have DRS, but I think he's a bit too far away. He's obviously gaining on us, but the braking zone is coming up and he's not that far. Or he's too far away to make a move. But we're going to cover the inside, because you never know with Daniel Ricciardo. He is maybe going to try that move down the inside, but we keep ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and 2 more laps to go in this British Grand Prix. So we move to lap 12 onto the back straight, as Lewis Hamilton just sets the fastest lap. Daniel Ricciardo is gaining on us, but still too far away to make a move, and the car behind him actually is now Antonio Giovinazzi and not Sergio Perez anymore. So also Sergio Perez has fallen back. I don't know what happened there. But all I know is that Dan Ricciardo is a car behind us and Antonio Giovinazzi is behind him. He's gaining on us, but no, he's not able to make a move into turn 1. We cover the inside, push him a bit to the outside and keep the P12 as we've done on many occasions in this race. Great stuff from us once again. So now we move to the final lap of this British Grand Prix and Dan Ricciardo is gaining on us. Was thinking about the move round the outside, but he's right behind us now. He's gonna go to the outside, but thinks better if it doesn't go for the move. He knows he will have the back straight to try and make a move as we navigate through Meggetts and Beckett's. The tires are boiling hot. As I said before, the left front especially and the left rear a bit too. But Dan Ricciardo is we're trying to break the toe, but he has great speed, but he's unable to go round the outside. We keep the place on Daniel Ricciardo. Just try to cover the inside now so he doesn't think about the move down the inside. We've got that covered. So we are in P12 and we're going to end the British Grand Prix in P12. Great stuff from us. Great defending. P12 for the British Grand Prix.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So yeah, there you go. P12 for us. Lewis Hamilton wins ahead of Valtteri Bottas and Charles Leclerc in P3. Lando Norris P4. Then the two Red Bulls, Stroll, Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon. Ourselves in P12. Our teammate obviously retired, as you saw before in the race. Now let's go into the driver standings. Lewis Hamilton extends his championship lead with 4 more races to go. We are still in the top 10 with 16 points, 2 points ahead of Lance Stroll. And in the constructors, we are in P7, Ferrari P2, McLaren P4, and Renault fall from P4 to P6. So yeah, that was it. The 2020 British Grand Prix. We ended up in P12. We have 1,700 R&D points we're going to spend on for some upgrades. One on the durability side to improve reliability and the durability of the parts, obviously as the name says, and another upgrade on the engine side. So yeah, 4 upgrades coming in for the next Grand Prix. Great, that's really great. And yeah, P12 for this Grand Prix at the British Grand Prix. I'm actually really satisfied, even though that's not points. But while driving the car in free practice, I really was not that optimistic, to be honest. So yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more episodes of my F1 2020 career mode with HasF1 team. I hope you enjoyed and see you next time. Goodbye.